Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Henry David Thoreau, and this is Looking Thoreau the Oversold. Today we have two very special guests, Nick Carraway and John Proctor. First, we will start with Nick, a young stockbroker who moved to New York in hopes of striking it rich, but instead uncovered a deadly secret hidden behind the fancy cars and big houses. So here he is right now, Nick Carraway. Now, Mr. Carraway, you struggled with the death of your friend Gatsby, a man who was obsessed with his own wealth.
Yes, it's true that I struggle with his death. But he's not as vain as you believe. He lived that lavish lifestyle to try to impress the love of his life, Daisy.
Ah, love. Under the influence of this sentiment, man is a string of a Aeolian harp, which vibrates with the zephyrs of the eternal morning.
That is exactly what I was thinking. The real greedy monsters are the Buchanans and the other people who surrounded Gatsby. They smashed up things and creatures and then retreated back into their money or their vast carelessness, or whatever it was that kept them together and let other people clean up the mess they had made. But I do wish Gatsby had found another way to express himself to Daisy. He is so much more than a pile of money.
Well said. So you would agree that the pursuit of wealth is shallow?
I suppose so. There's more to life than money. And if people like Gatsby could realize that, then maybe he would still be here today. Maybe we wouldn't have the Valley of Ashes, and maybe so much wealth wouldn't belong to so few people.
Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Carraway. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Our second guest today is John Proctor. Now, Mr. Proctor was recently involved in the witch trials in Salem, and unfortunately he was accused of being a witch himself after moving to the courts to try and free his wife Elizabeth. Now, Mr. Proctor is currently on death row. However, he was granted permission to come onto the show, and we are very thankful for that. So, without further ado, Mr. John Proctor. Very good to see you, Mr. Proctor.
Happy to be here. Happy to share my story.
Now, Mr. Proctor, you were convicted without evidence on the basis of the supernatural. How does that make you feel?
I fully support the decisions of the court.
Huh. Mr. Proctor, there's no one here trying to accuse you of anything right now.
Oh, thank the Lord. I'm aghast at these proceedings. I'm convicted on the lies of a whore.
But why wait so long to challenge the corruption? Even before the trials began, people were wondering about Paris's abuse of the church.
Henry, I live a simple life. If I involved myself with the politics of the town, I wouldn't have time to harvest my crops, let alone solve all their problems.
Mr. Proctor, even in the face of a death sentence, you still have a sense of humor. Thank you very much for being here. That is all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for being here with me. Join us next week when we talk with 3 students from Mrs. Rollins' Honors American Literature class who got a phenomenal grade on their final project. And later, Billy Ray Cyrus joins us to discuss where it all went wrong. If you would like to be part of our live studio audience, please send us a carrier pigeon over to Thoreau Studios. As you see, we have many great seats available. Thank you very much.